They supposedly put $1 million in it, and I was very unimpressed with what they had, aka the improvements they had made. There looked like there was a lot of floors that seemed awful spongy. That it looked like you were gonna start. It was gonna start to become a money pit.
You actually walked the property?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. What else did you uncover or discover?
That was pretty much it. I went with my one of the people I know that has some decent money here in Detroit, and he could have funded the deal, but of course I don't buy purchase properties, listed properties. I always get everything unlisted. I'm like, well, this is what I got to offer, so um,
When
but
somebody says that to you, you might want to kind of follow that up with the question like, why is that they have that restriction? And then invariably the answer is going to be, I tend to get a better deal. So if you ask them like, how do you define a better deal? Is it a cash on cash return? Is it, your internal rate of return target? Like, what is it? Because then if they say, okay, I got to get, minimum 15% cash on cash or 20% cash on cash, you could say, well, that's what this deal is, right?
right,
And especially in a market like we're in right now, where there are some deals to be had, and especially maybe in the area that you're looking, because there aren't that many buyers, this is not a hot market where you're going to insist on off-market deals. So a lot of even just great deals are going to be on the market.
okay,
So, if somebody like tries to kind of shut you down like that, just ask them like, well, that's understandable because, tell me more, tell me why.
okay,
All
And so a
right.
lot of times to say what, like if you have somebody who wants to invest money, like what's their primary objective? And you're going to find either people want the highest return, like risk appropriate, obviously, or they want asset protection. And so the people who want asset protection are going to want deals that are in better locations, maybe not as high of a cash on cash, but they feel like they're protected. They're not going to be subject to kind of the same roller coaster that you will get with some properties that maybe are of lesser quality or different location. So always find out what they want so you know what their hot buttons are and then you know what to show them, right? Because if somebody says I want asset protection and you show them a deal that may have some, physical condition issues with a massive upside potentially, they're not your guy. They're not your investor.
right, okay. Well, this guy's trying to buy two buildings of the Rensen too, so he's a little distracted. That's the problem.
He's trying to buy two buildings where?
And the Rensen in Detroit.
Okay.
So, and that's he's got to have at least $30 million for that. So,
What kind of buildings are they? Do you know? Did you get some information on that?
basically the Rensen is it's office buildings, and it's right now it's five office buildings. It's General Motors headquarters that they purchased years ago, but General Motors is moving out of those buildings, and they're moving into the AKA New Hudson building, which Dan Gilbert just built. So they're supposed to have that transition done by the middle of 2026. And then the Rensen has five buildings currently. Two of those are going to get torn down, and he's buying the two smaller ones of the three that are going to be left.
That's interesting. So it sounds like he's not risk averse at all because to be buying an office
He's
building
not.
that's going to be 100% vacant when General Motors moves out, that's pretty commendable.
But he thinks he's going to turn it into a data center. We'll see what At least a portion of it's going to become a data center. We'll see. I don't think it's got that much power. That's the problem.
So,
But
and this guy is potentially an investor that will invest with you, or does he want
mhm.
you to invest with him, or what's the?
He's 72, been a lifelong Detroiter. Um, and I think he walked through the apartment with me on Friday because he used to live there. So and that was when his daughter was like 10 and now she's 50. So it was like 40 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So I
So
think it's a little nostalgia for him. So
did you make friends with the agent? Is he going to be sending you new deals as they come up?
well, I think so, but we'll see. I'm not quite sure on what his he's a little hard to read. So
Who, the agent or your friend?
yeah, the agent.
Okay.
I don't know. I got a lot of wishy-washy from him, that's all.
Well,
How
I'm
did you end the
asking because,
conversation?
yeah, go ahead.
How did you end it? Like, what did you say when the meeting was done?
Basically it's, I shook his hand, said thank you very much, we'll be in touch. And then I went off with my investor and then we kind of had the discussion of um he didn't think it was going to be a very good property as a first one for me to invest in because I think he looked at that and said this is going to become more of a money pit. Um, especially when as you're walking through the halls, you're starting to hear that or smell that wonderful little herb, that I can't stand, but hey, what are you gonna do? So it's I'm always like, that's never, sorry, never a good thing there, but
Yeah.
So if he didn't think that that was going to be a good fit for your first purchase, then, make them your friends because they kind of will figure out what you need or what you're looking for. And next time they come across the property, they'll call you. So
okay.
you might just like maybe call him back and say, hey, just a follow up. So you didn't think this was a good fit, and I tend to agree. Um, but if you do get a good fit, or what do you think would be a good fit, and is something like that maybe coming up on the market, call me before you list it, right? Now you have a property that's unlisted, even though it may be scheduled to be listed. If you know about it kind of ahead of time, and you can
Right.
assemble your investors, right? Everybody likes an off-market deal. Um, but yeah, make the brokers your friend because they're making all kinds of cold calls. They know all the owners, within the area. And so a lot of times, even like if they like meet you and they know what you want, they might just call them up and say, hey, I have a potential buyer, even though they may have not considered selling, right? And now you have a true off-market deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
It
point.
was a little the property itself was, was a little sketchy, but then the worst part is that behind it was another property that had boarded up windows in the whole 9 yards. And I was kind of looking at that going, "Ooh, this is gonna, that could become God knows what, that could become a homeless problem or who knows." So, but I gotta go do some more research on that one and find out if that's, going to go into receivership or whatever. So,
The
Yeah.
other consideration is, lower your offer. Just say, hey, I'm still very interested in this. I'm reconsidering submitting a different offer, and just cut it down on the price and see what happens, right? Because it's one of these things like I had a property here in San Diego, a 17 unit office building, and I had the seller. I was representing as an agent, and the seller was in so much denial about like the quality of his property and the value of his property. He said no so many times to so many different agents and people, but at the end of the 6 months, he finally was starting to give in. He became realistic on price and he did a seller carryback. Okay. He wasn't at all considering seller carryback in the beginning, but no today doesn't mean no tomorrow. So keep it under your radar, maybe resubmit the offer lower, or just stay in touch with that agent and see what's going on. Keep an eyeball, start keeping tabs on these LOIs that you're doing. And, sometimes they'll even go into pending or under contract and they'll fall apart, or they'll change their mind and withdraw the listing. But soon as you start building an inventory of properties, an inventory of people, now it starts to come together, because now you got start, potential deals, fish to fry, I guess. you know. So I would just
Well,
keep
this
that.
is listed at 46,000 a door. The owners out of New York, they paid 54 a door, and they put $1 million in the property.
Oh, wow.
So the problem is, this is kind of one of those, they have they've got some fairly sizable investments in New York and out east. Then they kind of during COVID said, "Hey, let's buy this," and then this kind of has become more of just a distraction than anything else. So
Yeah. You ever hear that term, cut your losses?
yes,
You never know. You never know. You never want to like mind read or assume, right? And so it's one of those things where I would, like I said, if you like the property, keep it under the radar, and you never know. You might be able to acquire this deal later.
okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
All right. Looking at any other deals? Did you make any other letters of intent?
I have not made any other letters of intent. Haven't found anything yet. Haven't had a chance to do some more research. So
Okay.
I've got my CREIC, and my CREIC actually does have intelligence. I didn't think it did, but it does. So
Did
now
you
I have to
upgrade
go.
it? Or you didn't have
Actually,
to upgrade?
I had it and didn't realize it. I thought when he had given me the offer, he told me intelligence was not part of it, and actually, it turns out it was. So
Okay.
now I got to go back and learn some more about CREIC, and get into the intelligence now, and then figure out, okay, now we've got the distressed properties. Okay, now what? Let's start
Yeah.
playing around in that area and see what we can come up with.
Perfect. Perfect. How much extra time do you have in a day, John? Every day, Monday through Friday. How much extra time?
Probably 2, 3 hours.
That's plenty. That's plenty to make this business work. Yeah. Yeah. So I just got off the phone earlier with another coaching client. He was thinking, Coach, how do I turn things around? Well, remember in business planning, right? There's check equity and sweat equity. Check equity and sweat equity. The name of the game,
I got to find some
essentially,
check equity. I get the sweat equity.
what's that?
I said I need to find the check equity. I got the sweat equity.
There you go. Because really, like your business, you want it to kind of look like this. Um, your business, I want you to look at it like this. This is what we want to call like a lead funnel. You can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so over here, you want to do a lot of prospecting. Prospecting is lead generation, deal searching, money raising, capital, etc., right? P is prospecting.
Yep.
Eventually, you're going to have what we call leads, whether for money or for deals. Okay? Eventually, you're gonna go ahead and get accepted offers or agreements signed. Offers or agreements signed. Okay, but not all offers or agreements signed you get paid for, or you take it to the finish line, right? And
Correct.
so as this funnel goes lower and lower and lower, your chances of success of
Become
getting
higher.
paid get smaller and smaller. So you got to make sure logically that you're working on this big time all the time. The bigger the top of the funnel here, the bigger your chances here of more doors, right? These are doors. So you want to make sure that like you're prospecting heavy and it's just deals and dollars, and it's a funnel, right? And then all of a sudden you get closings. Just keep thinking of it that way. And if you're not taking swings at the bat, you've done one LOI, well, step it up, do two a day or three a week. You start increasing this more and more. But I really want you to remember this because this is the name of the game in the 90 days is as this number is really, really massive, you got a really, really good chance here. Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool. Did you want to go over a deal, Susanna, today? You have a deal?
I mean, we can go over a deal, but I really kind of want to, work on John's stuff. John, so what is your strategy for getting more deals as we do these like weekly check-ins? So obviously we
Basically,
have CREIC, we have, and then go ahead.
well, I was gonna basically it's gonna primarily use in Crexy my was my primary idea, and then start looking at different like Marcus and Millichap and some of the other larger ones and look through their deal offerings that are on their websites.
Yeah, and then also subscribe to their newsletter, but also on whether it's on CREIC or Marcus Millichap. So all those people's contact information is, widely available. Let them know what you're looking for because like I get calls all the time. It's like, "Oh, I know you have a property on this." Like, "Oh, we're about to list, something else." Or are you looking to buy something? Are you looking to add to your portfolio? Do you want to list? And so they can help you put like a, deal list together that we can then use this time to look at them and go through them and say, "Okay, what's a good deal? What's a, maybe not as good a deal? What is the issue with this one? What's the issue with that one, right?" So the one that we looked at last time, I mean, obviously the cash on cash was pretty impressive, but sounds like the condition of the building wasn't really up to par. So, but let's say we look at two, three, four, five, 10 more. So now we know like next time we're just like, if it's going to be that good on paper, you can call the broker ahead of time. It's like, hey, what's the condition of this thing? Like, do you have some pictures that haven't been posted? Like, do you know, has anybody walked the property and pointed out some problems? Right? And we can sift through them. Once you have 10 of them, it will become very obvious which ones are going to be the best ones to pitch to investors. So I
Okay.
want, hopefully, between like the end of the year, even, let's look at 10 deals in your area. I don't care if they're small or large, obviously within your, like multifamily, we can look at smaller stuff, we can look at bigger stuff, but because you'll also start comparing like what's the kind of like general price per door for this area. Are the smaller deals maybe priced higher than the higher ones? And then also as you put your one pager together as far as, hey, I'm putting together a syndication, to invest because there's an opportunity in the market right now. And when you present that and people will call you on it, you'll be able to say, oh, well, we looked at 10 deals ranging from this price to this price. Like just the level of your knowledge and comfort is going to go through the roof. So if you're on board, let's try and put two deals
Absolutely.
in, right? And then you
Yep.
look at them, answer the 6 questions for each deal. I mean, like who is the buyer and the seller in multifamily doesn't really matter that much. And then you'll see like, oh my God, like these things are coming in at DCR at this, or cash on cash return is that. Then Joe and I can quickly go through them together, hone in on the ones that potentially look good, try to find the problem quickly if there is one. And if there isn't one, then it's like, okay, now we have a feasible property.
Yep.
So, and don't be afraid to leverage the agents, even if you're looking at something that's not a good fit. Like, okay, but now you've got somebody who can potentially help you. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm looking for. Bring me deals. What else do you have? Or what else do you think? Right. They're just such a wealth of information because I spent 40 hours a week doing it.
Okay.
So for next one, bring 5 to 10 deals that you're able to look at and just do the preliminary, like the DCR, cash on cash. If you have it, sometimes you're not going to have it.
Okay.
If you don't have it, you can request it. And if you need any help as far as, maybe we need to jump on a call with you with the agent if you kind of want to do the first couple with, with some help.
Okay.
Yeah. And then work on your one pager, John. I need you to put like two very small paragraphs about you, just very, um, no fluff, just very to the point. Hey, experienced in finance through my work, and I forget what it was. It was like, was it insurance related or what was it?
I was used to work at Smith Barney, a
Okay.
brokerage firm.
Uh-huh. And what were you doing there for Smith Barney?
I was a broker for a while, and then I was a consulting group analyst.
See, but this like matters. These are like great skills and great experience, right? So if you put that on your little one pager, because people they immediately know you know how to read numbers, you know how to read spreadsheets, you know how to read financial statements, right? So that's like already a check. So put your kind of credentials on there. Then maybe you put a buy box and then just like an objective, like currently looking to take advantage of the, current market, targeting, multifamily or whatever. Literally something simple, then we'll make it pretty and you can start sending that out. Or even like with the brokers or other investors that you're talking to, like you'll have something, it's like one glance. You're like, yep, he's real, he knows what he's doing, he's on it, he's currently considering deals. So credibility is a big deal in this market.
Absolutely.
So let's pull up a couple of more deals then. If we don't have anything to review, John, do you want to share your screen?
We'll do that.
And
Just
you
a
can do,
second.
who are the kind of very active brokers in your market that you want to, that maybe we can jump on their website and look at it, or we can look at another CREIC deal.
Let's go crazy for a second.
But so like in our markets, like I can tell you who the big players are. And by big, I don't necessarily mean like how big the deals are, but like the number of transactions, like who is very active. And then you have your nationwide firms like you have CB Richard, Ellis, Cushman and Wakefield, but they tend to kind of work on the institutional stuff. But Marcus Millichap, I know they have a small balance division as well. Like
Oh,
here in the Southwest,
they're
it's ABI.
well, Marcus and Millichuk is pretty small here in Michigan. Hang on here. Let me get this. Come on. Oops.
So, and that's something to keep in mind. So anybody who has ever purchased, any kind of, or put together any kind of syndication, I guarantee you for that one purchase, they considered at least 10 to 20 deals. Like,
Yep.
I mean, underwriting level analysis.
Let's go to 50.
Because Joe has
You
been
guys are
making millionaires for a couple of decades, so let's make you one of them and let's get that top of the funnel. We gotta whatever Joe says, hey, if the strategy works, we gotta do it.
Let's go.
all right. Come on. Oh, Bricadia seems to be fairly large in our area.
And so does Bracadia, do they have, I think they have like a institutional team and a small balance
They
team
do.
too. Yeah. Yeah, so get in touch with those people, call them, and but also work on that one pager. You can show your screen if you want. We
Okay.
can watch with you and see if we can find something interesting to look at. Um, but call them up and say, "Hey, I'm John Nordbeck. I'm working with a group of investors. We're looking to look at multifamily offerings in the range of whatever, like however many doors, or want to put a price on it. But if they're going to start asking you a lot of questions like, well, what is exactly a buy box? And you can say, well, you know what, this is our first purchase. We're kind of open to some smaller stuff, but nothing like too big for our first one. So we want to probably stay around, under 10 million and just say, hey, we're just comparing a lot of deals. We'd love to look at anything that you think will be a good fit for syndication that's looking for stability, but also a good return on investment.
Okay.
And then if you have that one pager ready, make sure it looks professional. It's very to the point, former stockbroker, blah, blah, blah. Um, Send it over to them. I guarantee you they'll keep that information. They keep a database of buyers. And then, so before they list anything on any of the public websites, they'll send out an email blast.
Okay. I do get some stuff from like Bricadia from time to time that different stuff that pops up, like some of their stuff for um the campus stuff. So
So do you look at that when you
I
get
usually
those
do.
listing? Yeah. Did you find anything that may be of any interest? Because most of the time they also just will put like a one pager in the email, and then you have to, give them your email if you want more
Right.
information or
More
yeah.
information. Yep. I haven't seen anything that's of that much interest lately that I saw. Um let's see, where is
And don't let the fact that like sometimes they'll say, okay, on price or okay, we can look at the Greenfield Manor that seems to have some information already available. And if it says unpriced, don't worry about it. Like a lot of agents will list it as unpriced, but there's always a whisper number when you call them.
okay.
It's like, hey, what are you thinking? Or better yet, I was working on a deal and it was unpriced and I couldn't get a hold of the broker, so I honestly like couldn't kind of figure out like what their expectations were. But when like logged in, right? So I went into the deal room where they have P&Ls and rent rolls and all that. A lot of them they already have a financing proposal in there. And the financing proposal, it doesn't matter what loan amount it is, it's going to tell you what the LTV is. So now you know what the whisper number is.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay, how many units is this? It's a 9.2 cap rate. Okay, so we can figure out the NOI, the cap rate,
75.
all of that. 75 units? Can
Yep.
you tell from the map if is this like a decent location? 75 units. What was the purchase price?
3.3.
So 40 for a door. See, and now here's the type of difference this makes. So now that we've looked at the Dolphin deal with you, right? And Joe and I don't
Yep.
know anything about Michigan. I'm already like my instant thing is like, okay, this one is priced lower than that one, and it's a smaller deal. So I'm immediately kind of concerned about locations, and that this is where we're going to rely on you, right?
And
So,
that's
because you were unimpressed with the condition of the one that was 50, so what is this one going to be like? Is it the location? Is it the condition, or
it's more
why?
education here because this is um in my opinion not as good as nice as neighborhood. The other one here was uh there's Telegraph. That's Southfield. This is Telegraph. So here is oh, that's 8 Mile. So we gotta go south. So here's where um Dolphin was, is down here. Oh, that's 90. Yeah, that's 96. So Dolphin's in here, and then this one's a little farther up north here. So it's not in my opinion as nice a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So which is why it's, kind of priced where it is too, though. So let me get back to this.
Okay, so the location is not as good.
Correct.
Let's look at some pictures and see if there's a view flyer. I don't see any OM, but let's look at the
Been on the
pictures and then
market
look
like
at the
3 years,
flyer.
so
Has it
long time.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this obviously is going to have an 3 years.
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
this
Go
is
back to
such a
the
different market from what you and I normally.
Yeah, right there. See the days on the market?
1121.
Oh my gosh. Updated
Almost
15
almost
days
four
ago.
years.
Let's jump to the flyer.
Yeah, I'd find out the story on this one, John. Um,
Yeah.
you know, there's definitely a story behind this one. I'd find out what it is. Because to me, story equals, okay, maybe we could get creative terms on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And always remember this too, John. I'm glad we're recording because whoever watches this, live where you want to live, invest where it makes money. There's a big difference between that. However, personally, I would avoid any war zones. So if it was a neighborhood you don't want to go at night, you don't want to go
Yep.
escorted or with some kind of security or bodyguard or whatever, I'd avoid like those kind of war zone neighborhoods.
Well, when we're getting 700 for, your minimum rent is 700 for a single bedroom, two bedrooms getting 800 and three bedrooms getting 1200, you're you're not in a very good neighborhood in my opinion.
That's potentially a D neighborhood. And I don't know
Uh,
that area, so is that kind of your thoughts, John?
318, 307 is the net operating income. The cap rate is what, 903?
Yeah, for good practice, I would call that broker. I would after today, just get on the horn, reach out. Hey, just wanted to call on this property on 19320 Greenfield Manor. Tell me a little bit more about it. What's the scoop? What's going on? See what they say.
Whoops.
Does it say anything about occupancy in there?
I did not see it yet, but hang on. Yeah, that's 316. That's 32. Uh,
So this one is a 14% cash on cash, assuming that these numbers are actual numbers, which is still
telling me what,
high. Not as high as the other one, which is surprising because
right.
it's the lower price per door.
Two new roofs, two new boilers. Not telling us what. Let's go back for a second.
Yeah, call that guy and tell him you were sitting with the group and we were just kind of browsing some deals because we've got a, investor group that is looking to invest
Okay.
some money. This one, we came across this one. We're kind of wondering, what's the number one? The glaring thing is what Joe pointed out. Like, why has it been on the market for that long? And then what are the
Okay.
issues? What's the occupancy? What's the deferred maintenance? And then say, hey, we're looking, but we're looking for, fairly, stable asset. We don't mind if there's, maybe some issues that have to be fixed, but what do you recommend? What else do you have? Do you have any
Okay.
other things that you can send to us to look at?
I will definitely do that.
And you can also specify, like, do you have a specific area within Michigan that you particularly like?
I like
that's not a war zone, right? So,
well, I like Oakland County, which is the county I'm in. Um, which we have like our Pontiac, which is, kind of our bad area, but other than that, rest of Oakland County is pretty good. But then you get into, like these wonderful, hang on, let's go back here. Uh,
so can you search Crexie just for did you say
I can.
Oakland County? Okay. And then
Yep.
maybe we can check on LoopNet too. And weirdly enough, I'm not seeing any kind of smaller type deals, Joe. That's like usually we see some like 10, 20 units.
Well, I've got a
Right.
filter on because I'm showing 50 and above.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So we can go to minimum and then,
Well, I mean, it just depends. Like if you have plenty that are 50 and above, that's fine. But if we are struggling to find at least, 10 deals to analyze, then we might want to go to 40.
well, here's 10 and up, but like here's just Oakland County in Michigan. You got this wonderful little Class A for 106 million. This one for 302 or 3,025,000, which basically is just a shell. And then I've got my 141,946 units. And that's all she wrote.
Okay, so let's try and go down to like 30 units.
This is 10 units and up.
Oh, this is 10 and up. Okay.
Yep. So uh,
And that's
that's
just for Oakland County.
that's
So,
just Oakland County.
okay, so can we expand the search a little bit?
We
The
can.
geographic area to include maybe one or two other counties?
Let's go back to Michigan and let's just do. So we're doing 10 and up. And then we'll go to 200 units. Now we got 102 units to look 102 units to look at.
Okay, so now you're looking at the map. So let's first eliminate anything that you think has an undesirable location.
All right. So I know what that one is. That's still too low. Too much in. These are all part of that 900 units. Let's take a look at this one.
That's 16 unit. What do you think about that area?
I don't
The
even know what
624.
I have no idea where Farwell, Michigan even is. This is going to be a small little town.
Okay. I saw another one for six something.
Let's go back for a second.
Right there, 624.
624. Yeah, that's in Detroit.
You don't want to be there.
Um, Chalmers might be all right, but um, I would prefer not to be in Detroit if I can stay out of Detroit. Saginaw's not going to be much better. Uh, Lansing, Yipsy, this is, an opportunity zone, so that's 1.5 million. That's 11 units. Uh, assisted living, interesting. This one's only about 60%. Well, this is up in Flint. I don't know what's going on with this one, but this one's only like 60% occupied.
How do you know that?
Because I've glanced at this one before.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I don't know what the price is on this one yet, but it's right by I-75. It's right by the expressway. Oh, 62%.
Well, there's an OM and a flyer. Does it say why?
Oh, do I have this one? I don't think I do. Let's go grab the flyer. Value add through unit renovation. Positive market momentum following EPA action, aka because it's Flint and the water.
Oh, yeah, yeah. For sale by receiver. Yeah, 60% occupancy will be hard to. And the receiver, I mean, if it's under receivership, I don't think they'll do a sell carry. I think that's a long shot. So
Okay.
before next time that we meet, and John, let's put that just a draft of that one-page flyer together for you,
Yep.
and let's come up with 5 to 10 deals that we can take a
Okay.
look at.
All right. And I will not be able to meet next Tuesday.
That's okay.
I've
We'll
got
send you
to.
the recording
Okay. Wonderful.
because we always send it to Steve also, right? We send it to the other
We put
people
it
that,
on the platform. It's on the
oh, it's on the
platform.
platform. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Cool, cool, cool.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Merry
John, have a good
Christmas.
day. See you,
You
Susanna.
too. Take care.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.